Hello everyone, and welcome back to the shop. I'm Jody and this is Russ Lover's Garage. I appreciate you being here with me and spending some time on the channel. Sitting here making out a list of things that need to be done around the shop for the new shop and just steps that have to be taken, and the list is long and eventually we'll get there. Still recovering from the hand surgery, the latest one, but we're not where the doctor needs us to be right now. We are making progress, it's just slow. Got to do what I'm told there, and we'll get there. We'll get straightened out eventually. But the video to follow is something that I did a little while back. Working on my tractor, I finally finished up something that needed to have been done, but more importantly, it's a welding hack that you need to know about if you've never seen it before. Specifically for thicker metal, wider gaps, a lot of your heavy machinery, when you've got to really cover a lot of area. This little welding hack will certainly help you do that much faster. Again, it's a stick application, not a MIG or TIG. I know we all like to TIG. It's clean, it's neat, very precise, can do some beautiful work. MIG's not bad, it's fast, pull the trigger, it does its thing, it works. But many times you just can't get the penetration with either one of those two you can with a stick. And again, this little hack will certainly help you. But nonetheless, I appreciate you spending time with me on the channel and following what we've got. This again is one of those recovered pieces of video that we shot some time ago. But one thing I wanted to ask you about and talk with you briefly about has nothing to do with anything I just talked about. But if you've ever been to the beach, and many of you may have heard that, you know, if you pick up a conch shell and you hold it to your ear, you can actually hear the ocean, okay? Well, think about this, and I know this to be true. If you go out in the backyard and you catch a squirrel and you hold that squirrel and you hold that squirrel up to your ear, you can hear what it sounds like to be attacked by a squirrel. Think about it. God bless you guys. I appreciate your time and appreciate you being here on my channel. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We're up in the old shop. Going to work on a tractor bucket for my little Agco or Massey Ferguson tractor. Got this thing and it was permanently attached, as most of the older tractors are, and I put a quick detached plate on the back of it. There's just some things, I was in a hurry when I did it, we got it right, but I just don't like cosmetically the way that it looks. So we're going to mess with this thing, do a little massaging on it, make it look better. One of the things that I'm going to do is, I don't know exactly what they did, I think this is probably a product of tying a tractor down with a chain across the bucket and just doing it too hard. We've got a tear here and it's bent. We've got a tear on that side. So what we're going to do is I'm going to heat this thing up and try to bend it back out. And then once we get it in position, when I start welding, I'll come back in here and I'll sew this thing back together. But first of all, we got to get this right here hot enough to bend. So that's what we'll do now. obviously this is still hot, but we've got it reasonably straighter than it was, straight as you're going to get it with a sledgehammer. And then we've had to go back and heat, because as we brought this out, it also caused this tear to twist. So we had to heat it in here and pull it back around. So we've got it close enough now we can fill that gap in with the rod, and she'll look okay. We're done with the torch. Okay, what I have here is just a typical 6011 rod, and this is a pretty good size crack. This is an 1/8 inch rod, and you can chase this out relatively well. But if you've got a much bigger arc, or excuse me, a much bigger area you're trying to cover, I'm going to show you a little something you can do that can put twice as much rod in the gap with half the effort. First thing you got to do is you got to knock the flux off the rod. All right, with the flux knocked off, this is a piece of another rod that's left over. You want to leave the flux on it and basically just lay it down here in the crack, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply weld over the top of it just like I would. And what you're doing is you're melting twice as much rod in the same amount of area, but you're not having to feed it in. So I'm going to strike an arc here, weld a little bit, and I'll bring you back in. You can see what it looks like. Okay, as you can tell, got a little bit of underburn getting started. It's been a while since I burned a stick, but it laid down really well. I didn't do anything here other than follow just a regular pattern. Circles, you can do the little E, whatever you want to do as far as the way you handle your stick. But that's all I did, and again, using 2 sticks, one with flux, one without, and it filled right in the group. So it wouldn't take very much at all to chase this thing all the way out, and maybe someday when I don't have anything else to do, that's what I'll do. But just wanted to show you that little quick hack and how to cover a lot of ground in a short period of time. So now we're going to move over and work on getting this right here taken care of. All right, all I did, preparatory work, I didn't want to bore you with it. I just ground out a little bit of a groove on that tear, and then we just simply went in and welded down into the groove and let it build up. Now, one thing I will say or suggest you do, this is a pretty thick piece of metal. I'm only going to do this on one side because I don't intend on tying the thing down with a chain like this or doing anything to tear this again. But you do want to be a little bit on the hot side. You want to have good penetration. You cut your groove in there, you're going to get it, make sure you're good and clean. But temperature here is key to make this thing penetrate down and hold like you need it to do. guys, this is what I call a poor man's plasma. Nothing but a Ziz wheel on a grinder. It does make a little bit of a dust, but the thing about it is it does give you a good clean cut if you take your time. And as you can tell, you can cut some pretty thick things, pretty thick metal with it. Maybe not the best way, but I don't have a plasma. Well, I got a handheld plasma, but I wouldn't want to do it for this. And like I said, it's just a lot more precise, a lot cleaner. Do take your time, guys. These things can be extremely dangerous. Alrighty, let's get that one in here. Okay, we switched over to a MIG, and some people call them a shotgun welder. It's just a little bit cleaner. It's a gas type welder. If you notice, my welders pretty much are all Lincoln. Got nothing against Hobart or Miller. I've had all of those machines over the years. I've just always used Lincoln, and right now these are the two that I've got, or three that I've got. So we're going to go ahead and put this in with the MIG machine and see what she looks like. Okay, not going to bore you with doing the other side because it's just going to be a duplicate of this, but we've got all of this welded in, cleaned up, ground down, got all the burrs and everything knocked off of it, and it just looks a lot cleaner. Did it have to be done? No. But again, it's just something that every time I get on the tractor I see, it was kind of getting on my nerves. But again, just a little bit of smoke and sparks. I appreciate you guys stopping by and spending time on the channel, and as always, God bless.